or the family of products that you're up against. It's very important. And then as you're discussing this with the customer, obviously understand his level of competency as far as his understanding of the types of systems, hydraulic systems that you're speaking of. So all this again is primarily part of part of listening. Paying it forward, getting into this, really boils down to what is your value add with this customer? Why does this customer need you? What benefits are there for him to stay with you? Is your company in the position to bring the customer into a new technology? Okay, if you want to take that step, that's probably a good place to go. And if not, then find some strategic alliances that can do it for them, and then you can work with them. Empower the customer. Keep him up to date with the latest standards and technical training. I see that from the questionnaires that some of your organizations already do that, and that's really the way to go. Is always keep the customer informed of what's going on. Don't let him fend for himself. You're his friend. You're his confidant. He trusts you. You continue to provide him value. Newsletters. It could be electronic based. It could be. I see on the website there's several different letters that go out from distributors talking about success stories, which just speak reams of value. And then web-based references to websites, different technical information, and then tools, different types of tools that their technicians could use and that sort of thing. So as we shift out of that into getting back to the loyal external customer, and that's the fellow that we've been helping out through this whole discussion, there comes a moment of truth that occurs between your organization and the customer's organization. And at Kinesis we have, we study every segment of this. It all really boils down to people. But before we go to people, and of course it takes people to do this too, so we have to establish a strategy, a strategic plan. What's the mission, vision? This is the image of, this is your image to the customer. This is what the customer sees of you. It's like a branding of what's going on. And of course, everybody needs a strategic plan in order to really get up and moving anyway. But it sets in stone what everybody else is to follow, and it should be continuously updated. The people, these are the people that work with you and for you. There's several different levels that need to be nurtured in this area. There's leadership skills, which encompasses the attitudes and behavioral, interpersonal skills, business planning, business education. And in this case, I throw in technical knowledge. Normally, we don't really get into a specific technical area, but my background allows me to do that for the fluid power industry, and it's still kind of fun. It's very difficult to toss away 25 years of living with my fluid power family. So. And then systems, which is a result of the strategy, the people, and how we make things work. So we have the teams that make things work, the processes. All this is put together to make things go. And the end result is an internal customer that can maintain those moments of truth with the customers on the outside to maintain their loyalty. Okay, I'm going to have to start moving now. I promised this to be about 40 minutes, and so I got 5 minutes left. But here we go. In what we know in Kinesis is these 4 items equal positive results. It's attitude, skills, knowledge, goals, which pertain to focus. Attitude is kind of a trigger word. I understand that. But that does develop the want to do anything. Now I'm talking about on a personal level, because people do make it go. Every person starts with an attitude, and they end up, changing their attitudes constantly based on all the events that occur in their lives. Skills, that's part of a want to as well, as far as in the positive sense. Uh, everybody, a person who likes to engage with other people are going to want to know more about how to engage better with people. Same thing with knowledge. It's a result of a positive attitude. And then goals is really how you get, from one place to another in the positive realm. And then positive results. Now, I could also say that negative attitudes also come from negative skills, negative knowledge, and negative goals. In other words, none of those, which equals negative results. And that's just how the human mind can go either way. That's why we have good people and we have what we would call bad people or criminals or folks that end up in an unfortunate situation. We all do start at the same place. So the formula for winning results is attitude development, leadership skill development, technical knowledge development, organizational alignment, and individual alignment with that organization. So I mentioned before, it all starts with the individual. Everyone has a cycle that looks like this, where thoughts lead to feelings, lead to values and beliefs, leads to actions, results, and then those results spawn on more thoughts, which create more feelings, values, and beliefs, and it goes on and on and on. It's a continuous cycle through our entire life. To throw into the mix that our brains are really tape recorders. I mean, we're recording information continuously from day one, and it is extractable through. You've seen hypnosis and that sort of thing, but everything that happens to you in the first 6 years probably has the biggest impact on your personality and your attitudes that you may carry on for the rest of your life. And once you get into the human development aspect of our processes, it's very easy to see, where those blind spots actually come from. So here's the guy with positive thoughts. He builds on his behavior, interpersonal skills. He sets and achieves some goals, and he's got that positive attitude now, and it goes on and on. Where here's the other side of it: negative thoughts. If he has a challenged behavioral relationships and continues on that path, it could be a person who gets divorced, gets remarried, gets divorced, gets remarried, gets divorced. Typically, those types of folks have blind spots that they haven't really tapped into yet. So, not to say that they're negative, because everyone has a purpose. Declining. So the challenge behavioral relationships leads to declining achievements and negative attitudes, and that could spiral into a negative direction. So attitude development. How do we turn that around? First of all, the goal setting is one thing. We establish what are the most important things in their life, and then we also use in our training and development processes the different learning or teaching environments, such as spaced repetition, and then we get into the eight intelligences in super learning. The gold line in this graph that peels off is kind of the result of a 4-hour training session, kind of like this one right here. You may not remember anything in the next 16 days. So once that thought is engaged today, 16 days from now, you're only going to remember about 2% of that, which isn't so great. And a lot of training sessions that go on today that you pay $99 for a one-day session, you're not going to learn or remember beans. Our purpose of kinesis is for everyone to be impacted enough to move into that opposite direction, into that transforming direction of development. So the multiple intelligences I spoke of really tap into everyone's different learning modes. Every human being has a different learning mode. Some are stronger than others. We're all taught to take notes. Well, guess what? 80% of us will never use those notes again. But we all are very engaged with all these other types of multiple intelligences, such as the musical. Some people are really tapped into music. Everybody remembers songs for some reason. You ever wonder why? Math. I can't imagine anybody learning things from math. But